YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today, got something a little bit different for you. I decided, with it being New Year, I'd do something a little bit different. Got online about 10 p.m, 11 p.m. last night. Thought, it's the 1st of January, let's just sign up to a race and get a victory. Start 2021. Wow, I'm tired. Kick 2021 off with a bang and get that P1. I won't lie to you, it didn't go down like that. Managed to qualify first, end of lap 1, was still first. Then I decided I'd just completely lose control and binned it, ended up getting in a battle. It was just a nightmare. There's one geezer who just was mega aggressive, ended up doing a wheelie, and yeah, so that race was a write-off. I think I lost about 14 positions. So I was a little bit frustrated, so what I did was jump straight back into another race, and this is what I've got for you today. It's a great little race, really enjoyed myself. The only thing left to do now is to find out whether I finish first. Let's drive. So here we are on the grid. As you can see, I qualified P3. Not ideal, certainly not as good as the previous race. Messed up quali, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, but still, P3 could be worse. We've got strength of fields, 3.3k, not bad. If you ask me, I'm sure there's higher strength of fields out there, but fairly decent little field. And there's the green flag, let's go. So right off the start here, I never really know whether to be aggressive or defensive. I'm looking in my rear view mirror and I'm thinking this guy's going to send it, and he sort of does, but I just hold it on the outside. It's a really awkward phase of the race, this. Obviously, you're so close to someone in front of you, and the guy behind is going to try and put pressure on you. I never really know what to do, so I'm just sort of tiptoeing around this first section, just playing it by ear. Also, I will have to apologise that I don't have the throttle trace in the bottom left-hand corner. For some reason, when I was recording this, it didn't want to record. Typical. Well, anyway, on we go. So coming into Degner 1 right now, it's very sketchy on lap 1. I'm just going to take it very easy. As you can see, a little bit of throttle braking, run wide if I have to. Degner 2, also very easy to run wide. Just trying to keep the car pointing in the right direction at this point, especially after the first race where I ended up basically pointing towards the moon. Somehow get a car contact there. Probably just reacted a bit too late. And the guy in front braking, but it was a 0x, so no biggie whatsoever. Just going to try and stick with Camilo and Edwin up ahead for as long as I can. My plan is to take it easy, and then when the time comes, make my move. So coming through Spoon.
Oh, you dog nut, what was that?
Oh, Kevin is not happy.
Nice driving, mate.
Coming through Spoon. At this point, I'm thinking I've got the beating of Camilo, if I'm being honest.
Well, I've got a rear wing come out.
Kevin's a little chatty Cathy, isn't he? Once again, 130 yards, super sketchy on lap 1, lap 2. Into the final chicane. Ooh, nice little contact in the rear there. That's what I was scared of. As we were saying earlier, you just don't know whether they're going to attack, whether you should attack, because it's such close racing. You know, it's a very big track. This, it's all about the slipstream. It's just a nightmare. At this point, P1 pulls over. I want to try and follow P2 through. I second guess myself, but then P1 then just pulls to the side, so I've now moved up. P1's getting a bit loose now. The new P1's getting a bit loose. Again, not being too aggressive, just feeling my opposition out, just trying to stick with them. If they make a mistake, then I will capitalise, but I'm not going to force anything at this point. It's very early on in the race. Just nice and easy through here. Again, Adam behind me in P3, he's 0.4, 0.5 behind, it's not very far at all. I am right on Camilo's tailpipe. But again, he looks like he's getting a bit loose to me. and there. Not sure whether that's a network issue, bit of latency or anything, but now I've got the run on him. I think I'm going to send it up the inside on the hairpin. Perfect point to do it. Easy peasy. As I say, he made a mistake. I had to make the move, had to make it count. If someone's going to give me that much room, then I've got to go for it. And now at this point, again, looking at the relative in the bottom right, Camillo 0.2, 0.3 behind, and then Edwin is a second behind, so still not got a breakaway from the group behind. Need to get it. I think we need to get the gap to about 1.2 seconds for us to not have to worry about draft at all. So Edwin's still going to stick on Camillo's tailpipe. But that being said, Camillo's making a move on me down the straight. I'm more than happy to do that. I'll just lift off, give him the space, give him the room, try and work together to get away from Edwin. But what do you know, Camillo's gone. Get a little 1x for that. Suppose it could have gone a lot worse. And now I'm on my own. Up ahead. 0.8, 0.9 ahead. So at this point, I'm thinking, I've got one chance basically. I've got to nail this lap to try and break that draft. If I can get 1.2 seconds ahead of Edwin in P2, then we're in good shape. If not, it's going to be a very difficult race.
My car's broken, isn't it?
Alright Kevin, yeah, we get it mate, your car's broke. Good first turn. Could have been a bit better there, got a bit loose on the right hander. I'm still not comfortable with the car at this point in the race. It's still a bit too slidey for me, if I'm being honest. I wish I would have done a bit more practice. But as I say, just jumped on to do the race, wanted to have a bit of fun and see what happens. So I'm still a bit tentative, a bit nervous, and trying to push the car. Trying to push the car in this state. Not really a good idea. Doesn't normally end well. Get a rubbish run out of Degner too. I didn't want to get another 1x. I should have just taken it in hindsight. Bit of a rubbish run out the hairpin as well. As you see, I got up on the curb halfway round. It made my wheel spin. Not ideal, but we're around that second mark. We've pulled 0.2, I think it was, up until this point, but now this is where the draft's going to really come in. I need to absolutely nail spoon. It's looking good on the entry. Could have pushed it a bit more there on the exit. I do get on the power early, but not early enough, if you ask me. And look, here's Edwin. If you just look in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, that relative is just going to come down. And once it starts coming down, that is it. 0.7. Try and get 130R right. Yeah, it was nice and smooth, lovely stuff. But now it's down to 0.6, the relative. Bit of a sketchy chicane as well. I was trying to push too much. And now Edwin is firmly within my draft. William within Edwin's draft and Adam within Williams. Nice little four-man up the front. It's only a matter of time before they really close up that gap. Rubbish entry into the second half of turn one there, but obviously get away with it. I've got some breathing room and I know that there's nothing I can do. They are going to catch up anyway, so I'm not really too bothered at this point. I'm just cruising around, trying to save my tyres a little bit, look after the car, while still obviously being quick. I don't want to slow down too much, because they might just think that they can take advantage of me and swallow me up. So again, it's finding that point, the balance point of, are you going to be mega aggressive or are you going to be mega defensive? I always find in races like this where the draft plays such a huge part, it is all about managing your race. You've got to be aggressive at the right times, save fuel at the right times, save tyres at the right times, and just basically it's almost like a mental game between the two of you, because you know that with the draft they can be as quick as you, even if you are the faster driver. So it's just about psyching them out, I guess. That's mental warfare. That's the way I think of it. And so after that rant, 0.2 behind now, Edwin. Firmly on my gearbox. A little bit of a slide into the second part of Spoon, but still a nice exit. And so now I'm thinking, personally, I would like to let Edwin past, because he's going to go for it. Surely he's going to go for it. No, okay, he doesn't want it. Nice and smooth through 130R. And that's frustrated me a little bit, because he's compromised my entry to the last turn. Obviously got 1x turn, not the end of the world. But I do manage to get a better exit than Edwin. What I would have liked is if Edwin just slotted in behind me and then passed me on the start-finish straight. Again, because the draft is such a big deal in this car, on this track, I wanted to work together with someone to try and pull away from the other two behind us. But Edwin didn't seem interested in that. I think he just wanted to get in front and try and mess with me, really, which is fine. You know, everyone's got different strategies. So just sticking on his tailpipe again, trying to be a bit cautious of William in P3. I don't know if William's going to be aggressive or not, so just keeping one eye on my rear view mirror and try not to run into the back of Edwin. Because look at the draft, it makes it so easy. A little bit wide on Degner 1 again. Decent little exit through Degner 2, and we've got the run again. Decide against making the move this time round, and Edwin does go defensive as well, so I try and do a little cutback, because again I'm cautious, or I'm concerned about William. He does sort of stick his nose in, which is fine, he's entitled to do that. At this point I'm thinking I'm going to have to run Edwin, so I'm going to go a little bit wide. I don't want to lift, but the wide line just isn't slow enough when you've got the draft like that. So again I've got to lift, messes up my entry into Spoon because I was so close to him. That's my fault for not anticipating that, I suppose. But get a decent exit. Pushes me a bit wide. I didn't like that, to be honest. I think he was probably expecting me to go on the inside, on his left hand side, but he just didn't seem to move. He was very aggressive, Edwin, when he was passing. He gave you no room to move at all, which I suppose he's entitled to do that as well, which, you know, one of those things that sort of rubs me up the wrong way when I'm racing. I do like to give people room, but he must be doing something right. I think he's a 5k driver as well, so respectable pace, respectable driver. Look at the draft, he's just flown by me. Just going to let him go. There's no point in fighting, as I say. The more we fight, the slower we go, but then he's got other ideas. As I say, Edwin's a weird one. We seem to have different ideas of what strategy. You know, he's almost my polar opposite. I go to let him go, and then he goes to let me go. It's a strange one. So at this point in the race, I'm thinking this is going to be a battle. It's going to be down to who can abuse the draft on the last lap, essentially. There's no way I'm going to be able to break away from anyone behind me because of the draft. No matter how fast I am, it's just not possible. So in my mind, honestly, I'd like to be in P2, P3, but no one's letting me get back there, and I know that sounds bizarre as I mess up the exit of the hairpin again on the curb. Beautiful. So yeah, I know it sounds bizarre, but I just can't get back there. I try, you know, I want to stay fast. I don't want to lose too much speed. I don't want to drop like a stone. As Edwin looks up the inside on the entry to Spoon, I don't like that, to be honest. That he could have just waited and done me on the straight. I feel like at this point Edwin is just making moves to make moves, and all throughout this race Edwin's sort of doing my head in, to be honest with you. Only because he's making things awkward for me. You know, I mean, look, he's squeezing me. Why is he squeezing me? See, that absolutely blew my mind at the time. I don't understand why he was squeezing. What's he trying to achieve? Is he trying to make me completely go off the track? Is he trying to, you know, make me crash? I don't know. In the end, I managed to get away with it, and I open up a gap, a small gap, only half a second. That's going to close right up because of the draft, no problem. But yeah, as I was saying, little things he's doing all race long wow me up. So I've got this dreaded feeling that I'm not going to win this race at this point. I'm thinking towards the end of the race, if we're still in this position, Edwin's going to abuse the draft at the right time. He's going to win, or he's going to be mega aggressive. We're going to come together.
Oh, you caught me by surprise, Marley, sorry.
Also, I didn't realise how much Kevin actually spoke in this race. He's just non-stop, isn't he? There's a nice little first section though, not too bad. Just trying to keep it nice and smooth on the entry to Degna 1. Not run wide, lovely. A little bit too deep into Degna 2. I think Edwin did gain some time there. Rubbish exit from me. And I found that I was always losing time on the entry to this hairpin. I must have been braking too much. Definitely some time there. Very tricky corner, that one. And on the run into Spoon, Edwin is still 0.3, 0.2 behind. That'll close right up. I hope he doesn't go for a move again. That was mega annoying last time. He thought about it, didn't he? He thought about it. Get a nice exit out of Spoon here and see what happens. See if he makes a move on the straight. Again, personally, that's something I'd be doing if I was Edwin. I'm just going to move over to the right hand side, just let him by. Look how much he's squeezing me, man. So finally got to P2, but then William behind me nails 130R, tries to get aggressive, so then I go defensive against William, which I suppose is in fact the better line into the chicane anyway. And we've managed to drop William by a little bit, by a tenth or two in the last chicane. So what I want to do now is to do Edwin and then try and pull away, basically. So Edwin lets me by, lovely stuff. Let's try and nail turn 1. A little bit wide on the entry. That was a little bit uncomfortable, but we get away with it. Decent little exit, not bad. Let's have a look at this first section. It was okay, not the best. Flat out through this left, just a lift through this long right. Get on the power early, maybe too much curve there, that might have messed me up a little bit. And then flat out through the long left, up to 4th gear. And we've closed right back up, haven't we? Degna 1 looking good, that was nice and smooth through Degna 1. Try and carry speed through Degna 2. And look, Edwin is right on my gearbox, that is insane, I thought I nailed that. On the power a bit too early there, I didn't get a nice exit out of there at all. I was turning too much when I had the power on. I needed to do more turning under deceleration and when I was off throttle. Edwin just giving a little look into Spoon. That seems to be his favourite place to try and send it, which, if you ask me, is a rubbish place to make a move. I think if you make a move on the entry to Spoon, then the person you've just overtaken, as long as they keep it on the track, they've got this entire straight after Spoon to come back at you. It just doesn't seem to make sense. Just keeping it smooth through 130R. That was probably the best I've taken it, to be honest with you. I'm spotting my braking point for the hairpin, for the chicane, sorry. Another little 1X. Kept on doing that throughout this race. I was terrified I was going to get a slowdown, to be honest. It never came, Spoiler, didn't come. 223.2, no draft, that's not bad. Or minimal draft, wasn't it? Although it's not going to count because of the cut. Damn. Whoa, a little bit loose on the curve there. A little bit loose. William behind seems to be very close to me going through that right-hander. I ran a little bit wide there. Not good, not good. Let's try and make up for it here. William's got the run. I am feeling a lot of pressure from William, to be honest. I know earlier I was saying that I would like to be, you know, second or third, but I also don't like being sandwiched in. First place can restrict what I can do moving forward, and third place can try and be really offensive. Thankfully though, nice and chill. And now I know that I'm going to have the speed. It's just, you just chill. There's no effort required to overtake people on a straight here in these cars. So just taking it easy. Make sure I get Spoon good. There we go, on the power, nice and early. And here comes the draft. Moved over to the left there, went a bit defensive, which is fine. If he wants to be in first, that's absolutely fine by me. But then again, P3's coming for me now, isn't he? So just go defensive. P3 did always seem to struggle coming off the chicane. I don't know why. Maybe he knew he could just chill because he had the draft. Oh, there we go, 2 laps to go. He lets me by, I'll take that. At this point in the race, I remember I was thinking, I don't know what position I need to be in on the start of the last lap to win the race. But I'm just going to mess with Edwin as much as I can. Just try and overtake him, let him by. Just try and sort of annoy him like he's been annoying me, to be honest. You know, I've been leading the race for most of the race. I've had my little time in P2 and I didn't like it as much as I thought I would. So I'm just going to go for it and then just start having a bit of fun. So somehow I managed to get a run on him coming out of Degner 2 there. Wasn't expecting that. But then he gets a really nice hairpin in comparison to me. And then we've got this straight. So he's gonna, you know, there's no way, again, there's no way to break away at all. So what I'm thinking is, let's mess with him, let's lift, let's let him by. He's run wide. My thought process is, if he thinks I'm unpredictable, then I've got the advantage in terms of he might give me a bit more room. So look, he's trying to come defensive again, so I'm going to go for him again. Does he let me by fully? No. Compromises my line. Which at this point in the race I completely understand. You know, we're coming up to the last lap. You've got to make it really awkward for people now. But I absolutely nail that chicane. Really pleased when I did that. And I've opened up half a second gap, just a little bit more than half a second. So now I'm going to try and weave down the straight, try and break the draft a little bit. They're getting racy behind me, as you can see. It's all panning out pretty well, isn't it? Just going to keep an eye on things in my rear view mirror. There is a coming together. Is that William who's gone? So William's gone. And it's still around half a second to Edwin. So I haven't completely broken away, but I've got enough of a gap, I think. I feel like I've got enough of a gap. It's going to be close. It's going to be really close. Keep it pinned through here. Got to make sure I nail Degner 1 and Degner 2. That was a little bit sketchy. I'm hoping, in my mind, I'm hoping that Adam's going to have a little nibble at Edwin. It doesn't appear to be the case unless it happens here. No, they're just in uniform, in single file. So 0.6, 0.7 to Edwin now. I know that's going to close right up. So he's gained 2/10 on this straight alone. Nail spoon. He's going to gain at least another 3 or 4. He's going to be right on my gearbox. Right now, I'm thinking, have I completely messed this up? You know, is it going to be P2, P3? Wouldn't be too mad if it was P3. I'd be frustrated with myself because I've sort of let it slip. But it's not all bad. I mean, look at the closing speed there. He's gone for it. I'm just going to go mega defensive. Just going to stick to the right hand side of the track. Nail my braking point. I know exactly where to brake there. Down to first gear. Side by side. And he gives me just enough room. I was terrified I was going to come together with him there on the exit. But we managed to get away with it. And we crossed the line in first place. So, all in all, decent little race. I'm actually really pleased with the end result there. Only thing I would say is I didn't get the fastest lap because I didn't have the draft. But, you know, not everyone's Lewis Hamilton, are they? So, hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, please hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. And I'll catch you guys next time.